Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Angel's Perspective for the month of October. For those ones who are joining us for the first time, the Angel's Perspective it is a channel message that I get from my angels and guides, where they share with us the perspective of the energy of each month. They help us to understand how we can navigate. They will give us some practical guidance, and through that will help us to move forward in an easier way. So, welcome, and we will start with this month of October, which we are already ending the period of Mercury in retrograde. October 3rd will be the last day. So, up until that point, just hold on in making big decisions. The Mercury retrograde time, which is a 3 weeks um, process of introspection, so it just kind of help us to understand where we are, just to make a recap, a review, and see if we like, where we are, or if there's some changes that need to be done or need to be made. So here is the key for that. Starting October 4th, we start with this new energy. So now we are moving forward a little bit faster, and there's lots of things happening this month. There's so much energy, as you might know and see it is all around the world. So many changes, so many things, uncertainty, and that makes us perhaps feel a little bit uneasy. So here is when the guides come and give us a hand with all this information. And just to know and remind you all that each one of you have your own personal team, angels, guides, loved ones who are always, always guiding and showing the way and protecting you. So know that the best thing that you can do is just to ask and thank them for their assistance. There, then you will see that shift in the energy. Then you actually start seeing those miracles, right? So this month we will have the energy will be like um, we have to be brave and be honest, like that's the title right here. That's the main energy that will bring the situations where we will have to stand for that. So we have to be brave and be honest, and one of the first things is just to do the right thing, even if it's not necessarily the easiest option, right? So when you know that it's the right thing to do, but perhaps it's not an easy option, you might have to do shifts, changes, and decisions. Um, Trusting that will help to move with mm, more gentleness and ease. Because even if it feels hard, we just feel it will be super hard. The energy will help us to move forward because it is in our highest good. Moving forward, when we are listening to our soul talking, our soul's purpose, may feel a little bit challenging, but it actually turns out that once we do the step, we move a little bit faster. So it is important to, in this month to really uh, use the energy of respect, respecting yourself, respecting others, respecting everyone's points of views, right? And just standing in your center, in alignment. What does it feel right to you? Does it feel right to me? Is this in my highest good or isn't? That's going to be the key, especially when we are moving through and we're moving forward and we feel this urge to do some changes. There's energy of change and it's very strong. So when we feel that we have to make big decisions, make changes, it is important to be heart-centered and grounded. That way, we will be able to really honor that wisdom that is coming through. Okay, and it will be easier for us to see it. So um, we will be able to follow through that energy of with more integrity. We will know, we will honor ourselves, and we use our integrity to the maximum level, which is being honest with ourselves. What is it right? What is it the best? And when we do that, we will do this in alignment. We will be acting in integrity. We will be taking great decisions, great choices. So they will be presenting that opportunity for us to act. More than ever, this energy that we are feeling at these times, it is an energy of movement, energy that is encouraging us to move forward, to perhaps do those steps or those decisions or those actions that we've been wanting to do for the longest time. And right now, this is a time where we can actually take the action. Sometimes we want to just hold on to see what is going to happen. We want to see maybe we went a little bit here, a little bit there. And right now, they are saying, the universe is saying, this is the time to do the changes. So whatever that might be for you, perhaps it's staying in where you are, and or that brings you feel more clear about it, or you have to move forward. So another thing is we will have the energy of justice. So always looking for the highest good. So when we are trying to do something, we're trying to make decisions, is it the right for me? Or we are put into a situation that we have to feel and think about, this is fair for now for me, is this fair? This is, the justice is going to be that energy of justice around us. So as long as we work and we ask and we act in our highest good, we'll always be in the right path. So they'll say, trust that gut feeling. It is very strong. Right now it's becoming very strong. It is very much so noticeable that it is almost impossible to don't really feel it. Basically, it's just about the feeling, what it feels like. So another thing is going to be the energy that will bring us focus. So we have to let out our wild self. So we kind of have to express ourselves. We kind of have to bring that energy that is within us, and just to bring that inner power that what they say, trusting in your intuition, trusting in those talents that you have, trust in the things that you know, your wisdom, your knowledge, that sometimes we doubt about it because we feel like we are not capable to do that, or we depend on others' opinions, or we depend on certain situations or on something or someone to act. So this is a time to let that wild self come out and just express, and again bringing that from a sense of with integrity and honoring your talents, honoring your honoring who you really are. And really, that's all it is. So there is the honoring of those gifts and their talents. That's what the main thing we will have. There's going to be that energy will be very prevalent from the second week of October on. We will get to see that more. There's one more where we will be presented the opportunity to really embody that part of us ourselves. So there is also going to be the energy that where we're going to be having our thoughts and our perspectives about things, and we will be presented with opportunities where we can see that we can be the light. We can choose be the light, no matter what is happening out there. We can always choose being in the light. And when I'm saying being the light, it does not mean um, light or dark is a bad thing. No, because we actually have both. We have dark and light within ours and within ourselves, and that's what complement us, right? But we can take choices based on more of a higher frequency and our highest good. So we are moving from a lower frequency to a higher frequency at this time. And that can only be done by honoring this part of ourselves, our dark side, we would say. It is not negative, it's not like a bad or evil or wrong. It's just the shadow part of ourselves that help us to move forward. We need that part. We need that perspective when we are in our lower times and the lower moments of our lives. That helps us to move forward, to see the light. Actually, it pushes us, and that's the fuel for us to move ahead and to move up. And so these ups and downs that we have in our lives, it helps us to move. We just can't stay here, otherwise we're gonna move forward, right? Or not in here, especially on Earth, because this is that's why we are here, to experience this and to transcend all of this in a balanced, coherent way. So also we will be where our needs and our desires are gonna be bringing this. We will be feeling the need to move to a new direction. So there is gonna be the need to whatever is presenting the energy will be like the we feel like we want to move or we want to go back to the old way that we used to do things because this is pushing us to making decisions, and it'll be a sense of really changing and moving forward. We want to just move out of this situation. We just want to move on to a newer thing where everything is a little bit more settled and calm, and we will get there. That's for sure. But this energy is helping us to really, really get those last little tweaks in our path at the moment. We're always changing them, but at this time we've been going through for the past few years through this push, push, push in order for us to kind of move forward. Many of us we have done many big ones or small changes in our lives, and we're still doing them. The people who hasn't done them yet, they are in the verge at this moment, in the verge of doing at this moment those big choices and decisions. And maybe that be changing job or recognizing that that they having trusting more in their abilities and taking a leap of faith and doing their own businesses or creating new things, moving to different countries, getting married, or really going to an introspection. This time has been for a really understanding who we are, and the energy that is being presented for us is to really recognize that who we are and why we're here and what we came here to do. We all have a purpose. We have many things that we wanted to accomplish as well as to be part of this beautiful earth. And we are wanting to help to the evolution, and we want to do these beautiful things on earth because this is it is an honor for us to be here. It is just we are the earth, and being here is just it is just a bliss. It is a blessing. So saying that, the energy would be the desire that we would want to do is just a desire to move to a different. There's going to be an energy of moving forward, moving to a different place, and perhaps maybe a physical place, or will be like moving inwards. So that's where we will find always our answers. That's where we will find what we need to know. We have everything within us if we take the time to go inwards. And when I say inwards, for some people who are new to this, like how do I do that? And some people will say meditation is a great thing to start, but some people can find it a little bit difficult to meditate at the beginning. So it is baby steps. When we do movements, especially right now, it doesn't mean that we have to make a radical move, but already it's moving the energy. Perhaps some people will do a radical move and move to a completely different country, or they change completely their jobs, or for someone it's just to make one decision to say, well, today I'll start this way. And it's just a little thing like perhaps paying attention on the diet or the exercise, or they do a little change, and that's how it works. Okay, there's doesn't matter how big or small, but are encouraged to move forward and move in this energy. So doing this, it is just by becoming aware of ourselves. So inwards will mean also paying attention and honoring, our emotions, our feelings, how do we feel, why am I feeling like this, and especially when I'm around some people at work, how does it make me feel? So when you recognize it, for example, you are in a relationship that is not healthy, and that you are there just because perhaps there is a sense of responsibility because you have to be in a relationship, whether it's work or a friendship or in a family. And if it doesn't feel right to you and you recognize that, that's the first step. So what can you do about it? Perhaps you put some boundaries. Sometimes it's difficult to put boundaries with some family members, especially when very close, like a mom or siblings, for example, or dad. And there might be some relationships that are not really healthy for either side, right? And so having healthy boundaries is a good thing, and honoring. Say, well, I recognize that this is not necessarily a good relationship, and perhaps the other person will not be able to see it as easy as you do. So without being um, rude or angry, always in a peaceful way, you can stand strong and make yourself clear that there is a boundary, that it will make you feel better. So otherwise, um, you when we don't do those things, we're not using our integrity with ourselves. First, we have to be with ourselves, honoring ourselves, and use the integrity with ourselves so we can become a person who has integrity, honoring that. Well, we will have the energy of the emotion will be like we are be opening to healing information. And when we open for healing information, this information will come in different ways. So maybe there is something on the news that we hear that will help us to do the change. It will help us to say, oh, this is what I need. Perhaps on the news you will see, okay, there is I don't know, a new remedy, or there is this technique that can help you to do this, or perhaps you join a group where that comes from that group. It helps you to feel better. Just you get information that is helping you to feel better. There is many ways that we will be having information that can help us to recognize where are the changes that we have to do, and perhaps more information that will be rich in our physical, mental, and spiritual health at all levels. So sometimes we hear something that might be we might feel that is a little bit, I don't know, negative in a way to say, oh, this is so bad, or a big disappointment. We hear about something and we're like, oh, I just really trust this person, this situation. I believe on this person, this situation, and then we feel like we are left alone and not knowing where to go. So here's where the inner guidance comes, because that's where you will find your that energy and everything that you need to move forward. But also, this energy will help you to recognize perhaps that you will be able to do when you do these changes will be helpful for you. We'll just give a very little example. When we are in a relationship that is very unhealthy, whether it's with a friend, with a family, with a partner, and we know that it's not healthy, but it's difficult for us to move forward. Perhaps maybe representative will come to you as the other person says, I don't want to see you anymore. And it might come as a shock to us to say, oh, wow, what do you mean you don't want to be with me? Although we know that there is not a really healthy relationship. So the universe is helping us to do these things in an easier way. So that opportunity comes and to say, oh, okay, well, now I've been being helped at this moment, and the universe is giving me the opportunity to take this and to say thank you very much, right? That could be an easy to have some information, but it could be in different ways. It's just to understand that anything that comes to us right now, it is very important and rich in health in many ways. Nothing bad really is ever happening, or not necessarily something to that extent might happen, but there is always information coming to us on the news. We might find something that is very healthy for us, a way of living, a new habit, or a new relationship. There is so much energy of information that can come in many ways that can help us to um, for our own personal health, physical, mental, and spiritual. So there is a healing to for all of us. And another thing I was writing in here too is that understanding where is this energy coming from. So some of the information that we receive, if we are paying attention where it's coming from and how it's coming from and how it makes us feel afterwards. Say watching the news, what are you watching? How do you feel? What is bringing you? Why you feel uneasy? You feel happy or not? And what really good information did you get from that situation? Especially when we notice a little bit of discomfort. Okay, pay attention to the things that when you hear makes you feel of light, and it makes you feel happy. It makes you feel joyful. So those are the things that we need to pay attention. That's information that is healing for us. We will have to also put our attention and action and honoring that inner knowing. So when we have all this information and it's already there, and we'll be doing this process and taking the action and being honored, being honoring ourselves, being brave and honest with ourselves, we will be able to take action in our inner knowing. So this is what it is, and I know, and it feels right, and I will take step with this. Always is in the highest good. Okay, our guidance would always come for us as something uplifted. It will never be something that will be limited. It It will never be information that is not in our highest good. We will know automatically what is right or not. So when we feel like, oh, I'm not so sure about this, this is just, I don't think this sounds good, just take a moment and sit with it for a little bit, because normally when we get the guidance from our guides and angels from our soul will be very clear, and it will be always positive and uplifting. It will never be any other way. So you will know. You just feel it, and that's where we need to be trusting our inner knowing. That's their guidance. Say, hey, you're asking me for my assistance of which way you should go, left or right. Our guides, angels will say, well, I will say go to the left. That will be your best possible way. At the end of the day, it is our choice to choose whether we go to the left or the right. They will help us to guide us, and it's up to us whether we take it or not. So honor, honoring our inner knowing will be key to moving forward, especially when we are in this situation. It's like getting lost. To say there is something happening in town, and then everybody everything stops working, and there is no one to help to say, hey, you have to go here, there's no police around. So we have to trust in our inner knowing to say, okay, perhaps I never pay attention to this situation or what street I was going, because I was always on the go, or someone will always say, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, and now we have to do it on our own. Just trust that you are capable to do anything, because we have so much wisdom and knowledge within us that we would even be surprised. Even for those who think that they might not have a college degree, this is something mundane and something that perhaps we can come here, learn it, experience it, but that doesn't mean that if in this life you don't have this, it's not like you don't have some of that already. Perhaps a master in psychology in another life, and plus you have your angels and guides that are helping you co-create. So trust that inner knowing. What we have to take also is take action. Do what you know you need to. That's just the simple thing. We will have to also direct our intentions and energy to be devoted and committed in things that we are chosen to do. Sometimes requires that for us to be consistent in order to sustain something. For example, wanting to go to the gym, we know that this is something that we need to do, and we take the decision, we take the action, and we make this a specific question: why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I really want to do it. I am doing this because everybody else is doing it. I am joining the gym because someone told me that I should join the gym because it will be healthy for me. Even though sometimes we know that it's a healthy thing, not necessarily we are inclined to do so. So maybe there's other ways that we can get ourselves healthy. Perhaps it's not joining the gym, but perhaps it's going and doing yoga, or walking in the forest, or go for a run, or do at home exercises. So there's different ways, and understanding why we're doing things and how we're doing it because we want to do it or not will help us to sustain the decision. We know that sometimes some of those things are not going to be easy because it requires in a constant monitoring. Okay, it takes about 20 days for us to change our habits. Okay, so when in an everyday basis and we are monitoring our things, how I feel, what is the quality of my emotion, especially when you're feeling grumpy, and recognizing that it's a good start. And when we caught ourselves doing it, it's not like we fail, it's just that we understand, like, oh, I got myself doing it. You are moving forward. Otherwise, if you didn't notice, you would just go for it and you would continue back to the old patterns without not realizing that you are doing it. So when you got yourself doing it, that means that you are in the process of change and evolution. So it is a commitment that we do and being devoted, and it's not going to be easy. Have some days it's like, oh, today it just didn't work out, but that's all right. It's always the continuation. It's okay some days to feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to do this, right? To sustain the whole thing, especially if we haven't done it for a long time, or we are not used to it. It takes a little bit, but eventually will come our second nature, just like scratching our head, or like anything else, like breathing, or just like when we go every single day and we always check our phone at specific times, it will come like that. So whatever you know that you need to do and you're doing it, you honor your inner knowing, you are paying attention, and why are you doing it will help you to stay focused and grounded and with the energy to actually accomplish it. Okay, so we will also have the energy and what is it that we need to let go and to let flow, and we have to rise up our wings and shine. So we have to let go uh, and let flow the energy of possibilities. Okay, we have to let go the idea of not being able to achieve anything. We have to let flows more of that energy and recognize where were you a year ago, where are you now. Having that perspective will show you your evolution. And perhaps may some people may say, "Oh, I haven't done very much, maybe different." So it's not a bad thing. It's just about okay, what maybe I like what I am, and that's okay. Or perhaps it's like, okay, maybe this is a good time for me to do, the changes. And it'll help you to also recognize that even a little bit of a change it has been done in the past year because that's the nature of our humanity. We do evolution, we evolve. We don't stay in the same thing. Even if the situations seem very similar, it doesn't mean they are the same. The same. We are not even the same beings because even our cells are changing every month. We basically a different person every month. So recognizing that, taking into account where were you perhaps a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, especially if you already started your process, where were you at the beginning of your changes if you already started moving a little bit more conscious about what are you doing. Perhaps you're just starting to say, hey, I need to pay attention. There is no a wrong time if you started, long ago or just right now. There is always the right time. You start when you're supposed to start, and that's the most beautiful thing. Because otherwise, you would not be. If you're starting right now, you feel like you should have started a long time ago. You didn't start a long time ago because you were not ready for that. So there were specific situations that you needed to go through in order to start. So really, all of this will help us to unlock the magic that exists within us. Okay, each one of us, we have so much power and energy to create the life and the reality that we really want to. And even though it might sometimes look a little bit uh, crazy outside, that doesn't mean that it has to be a reality. Remembering that we actually help to create. So if all we have positive thinking, positive thoughts, and we can't always sustain them, right? So we are like this, but if majority of the time we have an energy center thinking about what would it be like to feel happiness and love, for example, we will rise the vibration even of the whole planet. And that vibration is contagious, and many people could actually benefit from that too. So when we do all those things for ourselves, we are also helping others. And this is so important to understand that sometimes we feel like we think that we don't do any difference in the world, and the truth is that the moment that we are alive, just the moment that we are here breathing, just existent, we are already making a huge impact on earth and life. Each one of us are we are so important. With each one of us are a unique piece of the puzzle of the whole, and no one can be missing of it. Each piece is very important. So we all have important tasks to do here, even though we might not be aware of that. Some people might have a very mundane life, and really, and spiritually is way up there doing some work at nighttime, for example, right? So we are multidimensional beings, and we can do so many things. So with this energy for this month, I feel like it is we continue just growing that energy of trust and self confidence and knowing more than ever that we are not alone. So there's going to be new information in each one of us in general around the world that will help us to take decisions according into what is our in our highest good. Taking that in mind, we will understand that everybody's decision might be different than what it is for us. So holding space for everyone, as everyone has a different path, a very unique path, and it is a real path. It is a real experience for each one of us, even though it's not the same for us. We can all be living the same situation, yet we all have a different experience about it. So, honoring that, we will hold space for others so that we can all help each other. So, this is our energy update and on your energy perspective for the month of October. And so stay heart centered and grounded. That will help a lot. Meditate, go outside, be on nature. That will help you. And trust that you have an immense power and you have your angels and guides right beside you, helping you and wanting you to invite. They want you to invite them more and be more active with them. So you will see the magic, those uh, sparkles, if you may, every single day because they are always there. We all have every day. We have new things in our lives and miracles every single day. But if you want to see those big ones that you say, "Wow, this was just wow!" I have no words to explain it. Invite them over and ask them for their assistance. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you. I hope we'll see you at the middle of the month of October, where I will channel them live. And on those sessions, they will go deeper into this conversation and whatever is happening on the galactic side. Our angels will also be focusing into our life here on Earth and how everything is evolving and helping us to bringing us more information that can help us. So thank you so much. ClaudiaSardinate.com. You can find all this information. And if you're a member of the Angel Portal, join. It is a free membership where you can find information. There's some tools that you can utilize in your spiritual path. And thank you for joining our community. Bye for now.